My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye's SpeedLore DLTK Edition, the series where we look at the hardest difficulty in GoldenEye 007, maxed settings on 007 mode, and examine the stories of the gamers who beat these stages, believe it or not, as quickly as possible over the course of years. Tonight, we will examine completions of Aztec DLTK and Damn DLTK with some very comfy and lengthy completions in and around 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So, get yourself comfy, pour yourself a hot beverage, and let's take a look at some remarkable DLTK completions. And what you're seeing on screen now is actually the first DLTK completion that was recorded after the Illu first completion. So, I guess you could call it the second Aztec completion. Illu, in probably episode 2 it was, we watched his 26-minute epic run completing Aztec for the first time ever, which he did back in 2004. That was simply amazing and unbelievable. But, of course, as time progresses, we see more simply amazing and unbelievable completions of Aztec. And this one would be by none other than Adam Bozon, if you couldn't tell by the amazing video footage, the CRT footage, and the PAL 25 frames per second gameplay. And we can see he's actually chasing Jaws around here. And that is sort of the key of something that Bozon did, which Illu didn't do. This was actually uploaded as a 2-part video because, of course, back in the day, YouTube, you couldn't really upload longer than 15 minutes. But Bozon actually got 2 completions on this day. This was a 17-minute completion. Bozon would also get a 15-minute and 54-second completion. And so we're going to watch, discuss, and analyze this completion of Aztec DLTK, done on January 1st, 2008, which is simply amazing. And of course, it's a great completion, DLTK amazement. We're going to dedicate this one to a SpeedLore champion, and this one goes out to our pal, E Street. A huge thanks to you, E Street, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's watch this 15-minute epic by none other than Adam Bozon. And, of course, in the first room, he goes about luring a grenade. This is sort of the standard practice on Aztec DLTK because, the guards take 10 headshots to pass away. And so with a grenade, they pass away much easier. Now, of course, if they have body armor, they can kind of sometimes tank a full grenade. Wow, that guy got ejected into the room, which is always funny to see. But, yeah, and we can see Bozon kind of YOLOing it a bit. And that's kind of what you have to do. He was really one of the first guys after we saw the sort of set of initial completions on each stage. Bozon was really one of the first guys who decided to sit down and try to beat the levels faster and faster, which is certainly no easy feat. And we can see he's, pumping some PP7 headshots at the silver crate guard in the back of this area. This guy's tanking a lot of shots because he has a bit of body armor. But now Bozon's getting some headshots. One thing with Aztec that is interesting, and we'll probably notice it more on Damn when we get there, is there's no extra ammo for the PP7. You start with 100 shots. You have 7 in your clip and 93 extras. And, you don't get any more. That's it. You get your 100 shots, and that can only pass away 10 guards. If you shoot perfectly at their heads, and, barring the use of explosions and whatnot, which is a common technique in DLTK. Now, mind you, you do get AR-33 ammo. Ammo management is very, very important in DLTK because you know, it's like you need to not miss shots. You only get 10 ammo from guards. And so every shot you miss, in a sense, is like a shot you're never going to get back. And that certainly makes things pretty tough. Now, it is made a little bit less tough on Aztec because not too far into the level, you do get a laser. You get the Moonraker laser. And so, you know, with the laser, you can just shoot infinitely. You know, you can clear out infinite shots, infinite guards, and that helps so much. You know, on Dam is actually going to be a bit tougher with ammo. You know, we did watch a Dam completion as well. You know, in one of the episodes where we watched these early completions. You know, it's hard to believe we're actually on the 7th DLTK episode now, as Bozon makes his way through the Aztec temple. The temple, the launch base disguised as a temple or built into a temple. You know, what a clever strategy that Moonraker Drax Corporation came up with. So, but yeah, he's gonna get a laser here. You get it pretty early, and now, okay, great. And look, he's down to 30 shots in the AR-33. You know, also with the AR-33, with the headshots, you know, you can eliminate guards with fewer than 10 headshots because the AR-33 does a bit of extra damage. So that also helps. And once again, on Dam, the only weapons you get do the normal amount of damage, so it takes 10 headshots. But even Dam, I think there's some boxes you can get ammo out of, so that helps too. It takes like 5 shots to destroy a box, but you might get 10 ammo from each one. So, you know, these are the sort of knowledges and yeah, that you need to really know and have attuned well when you are playing DLTK, you know. Man, it looks like he almost got hit there by the drone. Mind you, the drone doesn't do 10 times damage. It does normal damage, which is 2 bars of health. But this is kind of interesting that Bozon goes to YOLO it by running over here, and you wonder what his sort of percentage chance of making that run are, you know? He got hit by the drone there at least, which is a bit intense, but he made it over here. Now, you are pretty safe here. I do not believe the laser guys can shoot up at you in this spot. If you're standing a bit closer to the ladder going up, I believe they can. The geometry of the level is kind of weird in such a way that, like, the laser, it's almost as if part of the ladder and upper area is like not loaded. So here I think you can actually get hit by some of the guards, maybe by ones who are more in the middle of the big room, we call this one. You know, spawning guards. Once you pass away, Jaws 3 laser guards spawn, which is really spooky, and I'm actually curious to see how Bozon is going to deal with that on this run. But he's slowly but surely clearing out the drones, and there are 4 Moonraker guards like behind the silver crates over here. So that's who he's getting at and getting after. So let's take a look over here. Wow, it's amazing. And luring out these guys, and it can be painstaking, you know, but his goal at first was to beat Illu's run of 26 minutes, which he did with 17. And now, you know, again, historically, he's credited with getting both this run of 15:54 and his 17:08 on the same day, you know, New Year's Day 2008. And so I wonder if he actually did get them both on the same day, or, you know, if they were simply just posted at that time. And, you know, at this, we're going back in time 15 years in history, which is amazing. At a time, oh my god, Lexi almost got hit by that laser. That's pretty insane. Just peeked out enough to not get hit. And the laser guys kind of shoot like in little spurts of like 3-5 shots. So he knows once the spurt is done, he can go in and, yeah, clear him out relatively safely. But here's another guard he's going to deal with. And then, of course, he's going to fight Jaws. And I kind of pre-looked and saw the comments on this video, and many of them are talking about how the Jaws fight is insane, you know, truly insane. So we're about 7 minutes into this run. He just kind of peeked and lured Jaws out. So let's see what happens here. How long? Oh my god, that is kind of lucky maybe to get a nade pull there. Because there's one guard who can probably see you there as like Jaws runs out. Okay, so there he did. One guard did come out from afar. But it might be a good thing in that there are some guards. There's two guards in that room that may be alerted to you. So a nade going off, could help manage one of them. And so that's good news. But now Bozon is up here, and Bozon is going to play, we're 8 minutes in the run when the Jaws fight begins. And he's going to play basically ring around the rosy, going for headshot at a time. And this is extremely, dangerous because Jaws' shots will do 15 bars of damage. Bozon took one drone hit already, so he has 17 bars left. Or 16 bars left, rather. So he can survive one AR-33 hit from Jaws. But because Jaws shoots a bunch of AR-33 bursts at once, if you get caught up in it, odds are you're going to get hit more than once. And so you will pass away and lose the run. And so I can imagine this would have been very tough. I imagine, if you were playing this yourself, you would probably, not have a perfect success rate at this fight. Many, many times you're probably going to get shot and pass away, And this definitely differs from Illu's 26-minute run, the first ever Aztec completion, because Illu got Jaws stuck in the mainframe and was able to just pummel 237 headshots into Jaws, which is pretty amazing. So, this is a much more dangerous way to fight Jaws. That's for absolute sure. And I gotta think, if the run's 50 minutes long and he started fighting Jaws here at roughly 8 minutes in, I'm thinking this fight might last a good 6 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes, because once you do get rid of Jaws, you really just have to run back to the glass area, upload your launch protocol data, the guidance data rather, which is the floppy disk, and then grab the launch protocol data and use that. That whole sequence takes a minute and a half. And I have to imagine he just finds a way to avoid. Oh my god, that one looked close. That one looked really close. It's in a way he wants Jaws to attempt to shoot him, but he's not really peeking out. You could sit here, peek out, and get Jaws to start firing, and then use that moment when Jaws is firing to aim and get a bunch of headshots. But I imagine that was simply too difficult and too risky to do the peeking technique. Otherwise, he'd probably be doing it, rather than this sort of ring around the rosy back and forth. There's some shots right then, and Jaws is pretty far away. Otherwise, it'd be it'd be pretty spooky, I would say. So here we go, coming down here, and what can you say? All these headshots. Let's see, what have we got here? Okay, we're 3 minutes into this fight. And I am actually, quite interested to see these next few runs, because the next improvement is several minutes. It's quite significant. And so I'm curious to see how that improvement came about. And, we have watched faster Aztec runs. There was actually in the world. Oh my god, so he does take one. Oh my god, that's insane. That is insane. He gets hit once. That is so, terrifying. Now, mind you this. He's basically cleared out all the AR-33 guards at the beginning of the level that there are to clear out. 3 Moonraker guards spawn after you pass away Jaws. Those guys do 20 bars of damage, which will kill you even if you have full body armored health, 16 bars, so they do 20. So, taking that shot of damage really doesn't mean anything, because... And he blew up all the drones. If you didn't blow up the drones and he was doing some risky strat where you would leave the drones alive, that might be scarier, because now you wouldn't even be able to survive a drone shot. But taking that one shot of damage really was kind of meaningless. Um, because either you would pass away anyways from the laser guys, or you wouldn't. All it means is now he cannot take any more damage from Jaws. So that is a bit unsettling. But, you know, once again, like, this was Bozon's second completion of Aztec, and maybe he even had more completions that were slower or unposted, you know? So he seems to be getting some good experience. Okay, so this is actually a very good and interesting technique, is that he is going to start luring Jaws closer to the glass area. That makes a lot of sense, because, like, you want to get that portion of the level done as quickly as possible once you kill Jaws, because of the spawning Moonraker guards. Okay, so he's coming out in here. Oh my god, that looked so risky. Like, I've seen some risky, you know, countdown areas, like Wouter's 15600 and Clemens's, like, I forget which secret agent run, 130 maybe, come to mind. But that looked so risky. Like, and that's kind of the name of the game on Aztec. Like, you're going to have risky, scary runs, you know? So this is just another one of many. Okay, now he's going to go for it. Gets up close. Tries to get some headshots. Pummeling Jaws in the head. And here we go. Oh my god, it's still actually kind of like... Oh my god, the crouch, like... Oftentimes when you're close enough to Jaws, he doesn't hit you. But sometimes he does. And so, like, that could have cost the run, you know? If you try this yourself, you might lose a run to that, you know? So that's kind of always intense and unsettling, you know? But here he goes. He's still pummeling away. Things are going well. And, I mean, Jaws is just... Oh my god. Look at that. And that's the thing with their... One of the underrated settings in DLTK is... There we go. Enemy reaction time. Oh my god. Complete ghost health. Unbelievable. Enemy reaction speed is full speed. So, like, they... recover quicker from getting hit, and they, like, it feels like they move quicker, and so it's very unsettling. Opens this in here. Now you hope the laser guards spawned behind you and are, like, chasing you through the stage. They could spawn, like, in front of you and come, like, pummel him right now, and you just lose the run. You pass away, right? One shot, you're done. So Bozon is going to pull out the launch protocol data, press Z, and now he's got to run up the ladder again. Now, fortunately, in the N64 version, you can warp the ladder, which is nice. Usually warping to the laser gets you up, and so he's pretty much safe here. Like, he's pretty safe here. It almost looked like he, like, turned on cruise control. I can't imagine he would have played Control Cell 1.1 here, but it's so long ago and so early in the game's history that maybe that's the case. He's pretty safe here. It's the guards have to really come a far way to chase you up, and they might even get stuck behind at the bottom left, that, like, roller door, that brown roller door. They probably can pass through it if you're not looking, but if you're looking at it, I doubt they probably get stuck behind it anyways. So you're pretty safe once you get up top there. And there we go. Aztec DLTK 1554 it was, and there's the settings: enemy health, enemy damage, enemy accuracy, enemy reaction speed. And, you know, if you're new, if it's the first DLTK episode you're watching somehow, this is what DLTK means. Maxed settings stands for Dark License to Kill, and that's what makes it unbelievably tough. So it's an amazing, amazing run by Bozon, 1554. You know, beat his own 1708 set that same day, beat the 2609 set by Illu in 2004. So we're in 2008 here. What is kind of interesting, though, is that Illu must have seen something and learned from it. And only 4 days later, on January 5th, 2008, Illu went out there and played this run. And he beat Bozon's time quite significantly, which is very, very impressive. Amazing run, another great speedrun. And so we're going to dedicate this one to our SpeedLore champion, FC Bojangles, A huge thanks to you, FC, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's watch this amazing Illu run here. Aztec, DLTK. Oh, look at that. He sniped the nade out of the guard's hand. That is so impressive. I feel like he added the music in post. We may find out more for sure, because it seems like it seems like the music is way louder than the in-game sound effects. Now, you could do that with in-game settings by like turning the music to full and the sound effects to like half or a quarter, but it's almost never done. So it sounds like an audio mixing thing in post that he did when he was editing, because I believe other songs come up. I believe it's an edited version, a cute, classic Illu edited version. If we click more info here, like Darude's Sandstorm comes up, so I anticipate we might hear that in this video at some point, so I'm gonna take a look at the past records here. It's early 2008, so I think it might be a little bit after the amazing Illu era of Aztec perfection. Yeah, it looks like at this point Clem and Boss are on the scene, so Illu didn't have like a untied sweep on all 5 difficulties anymore. Ooh, you know what? On second thought, he actually may have. Yeah, I'm going to January 5th, 2008, which is when this time was set. And Illu did have Aztec Agent 131, Secret Agent 139, Double Agent 144, which were all untied. So the Clem untieds must have come a few days later in January 08. And that is kind of always how Clem operated, especially back then more so. It's like he wouldn't let others have their fun all the time, He would see, okay, Illu's got all 5 records on Aztec, Agent, Secret 00, LTK, DLTK. He's got to get in there into the mix and not let Illu do that for too long. So that's kind of classic Clem behavior, kind of like, do you want to say a speed bully or do you want to say a champion? It could be either one, Let's see, yeah, mid-January is when Clem got some Aztec time, so Illu had this sort of reign on Aztec for about a week and a half, which is really kind of funny to consider. Yeah, that's pretty epic. He would have had LTK untied 223 at this point in time, and of course he had DLTK untied in 26 minutes until Bozon beat it on New Year's Day 2008. So this is sort of Illu deciding, okay, let's go for let's be the first person to get the glass open on Aztec DLTK. Let's do that. How about? And lower the record significantly. And that's what Illu set out to do, so. I didn't hear that it opened. Again, the music version is quite loud here. So it sounds like he did hear it open. Opens the console, and there we go. So now he's got to just take his time, clear out the big room, and upload the data. And the bonus, we saw Bozon do this. If you play through a casual playthrough, you'll do this yourself too. You kind of have to like go up to, unlock the blast door or whatever it's called in order to get back through the roller door that I was speaking of when Bozon was at the top with the launch area. You have to kind of go back and forth up the ladder, up and down twice to open and close that door and the launch bay. But with the glass strategy, it automatically closes and it's prepared for launch. So that's like such a big benefit of the glass strategy. Maybe even an underrated aspect of it, you know, all things considered. Really shows how significant the boss discovery back in 2002 was on this stage, you know. Truly amazing things to think about. But yeah, Illu's got the laser here, and now he's... Oh, here we go. We got the music switch. There we go. Suggested Darude Sandstorm. I'll just leave me mentioning it into the YouTube video. I'll probably have to mute it for the main YouTube upload, you know, or cover it at least. But there you go. Can probably get it with a couple seconds of it. I imagine he was inspired to use Sandstorm here because the laser kind of fires like that doot 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 doot, you know, that kind of classic meme, almost a classic Twitch meme to some regard, although Sandstorm certainly predates and transcends just Twitch, but that kind of repetitive laser shooting is what I imagine inspired Illu to use Sandstorm for this edit of this amazing Aztec time, and you will find out that it is really, really amazing. Now we have the Facility X music, which is sort of the secondary music that plays on some stages and that you can hear in multiplayer. You get a random song in multiplayer, which is pretty epic. You would get this during the Ormov sequence on Facility. And it is kind of fitting because it's kind of, you know, intense. And the X versions of the GoldenEye soundtrack amp it up and make it more intense. And he's just got one more guard to shoot, 16 shots. Kind of risky to do with the AR-33 in my opinion, but he knows what he's doing, certainly. I guess he's trying to do the R. Oh my god. Yeah, see, that's why, because he only had 16 shots, so... Oh my god, wow, that was crazy. Don't want to choke that. Got it. Upload, and this is obviously going to save a lot of good time compared to... well, fighting Jaws. And now you're pretty much safe. There's no spawning guards because you didn't kill Jaws. You don't even have to open this thing. And he didn't lure any further guards into the stage here, so this is it, baby. He's shooting out here just as a precaution for fun. And that's that. There we go. Another truly remarkable speedrun, no doubt, that is simply amazing. Like, what can you say other than it's simply amazing? Illu, Aztec, DLTK 819. What a run, baby. What a run. 180 headshots, 99 body. Wow. There's the settings. Maxed settings. That's just amazing. Inspiring stuff by Illu. And so, yeah, at this moment in time, January 5th, 2008, Illu once again held the sweep of all three main categories. Agents, Secret, 00, also LTK and DLTK. And that's something he only held from December 1907 to January 2108. So just for 1 month did he hold that. And I'd have to check my memory. Maybe someone will comment this. But I'm not sure it's ever been done again in GoldenEye. I believe it's been done in Perfect Dark. but I don't think it's been done in GoldenEye, so that's pretty remarkable if true. But you know, that one needs a fact check for sure. Bozon actually beat Illu's LTK time on January 21st, and then Clem and the boys beat Illu's secret double agent and you know, other records. And so this was sort of like, of that Illu Aztec era where he was the king of Aztec, this is sort of the last hurrah of that. And so definitely it's to be appreciated for that, no doubt. An amazing time. Now, I showed one of these runs during the third episode of DLTK SpeedLore. This is Silent Foe. And he got, like, he had, you know, amazing runs. Or here he's crediting Eddie Lovins, Mustang GT, for tips and strategies. This is now August and September 09. And so Silent Foe went out and got 613 on Aztec DLTK, and then a month later, you know, he came up and got the 513, which is insane. Like, insane run. Amazing speed run. This was run in 2009, and like to this very day, I'm just gonna double check here, but I think it's only been beaten by 2 people. So like, this is complete insanity. And this, the reason I showed this in a previous episode, not in Aztec DLTK, was because it was to introduce Silent Foe as a character, because he was the first to complete Streets, which was one of the last stages to be completed. So, with all that being said, we have seen these runs before. I'm not going to show this one again, but it's an amazing run that deserves massive credit. And it remained the record for almost 8 years, 7.5 years, which is pretty outstanding. But it was beaten. And in 2017, we would see the return of Adam Bozon to Aztec DLTK. This run is probably the greatest YOLO of all time. And we'll see why pretty quickly. You know, 513 is a pretty amazing time by Silent Foe. Incredible run. This beat that significantly, and it's frankly stunning. And so we're going to dedicate this one to a SpeedLore champion, our pal, GOP1386. A huge thanks to you, GOP, or GOP 1386, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon. Truly appreciated. Hope you're well and your setup is going well. Let's watch this incredible speedrun by none other than Adam Bozon, done in March 2017. So there's the typical nade lure. Man, that is just... that's not even what I had in mind or was talking about. Like, just so ballsy. Like, you're gonna shoot the nade to get through the first room a little bit faster. Like, just complete and utter madness, you know? And take so much damage. You know, but I guess the plan here is that Bozon's not going to get hit by anyone. No guard, no drone, no more flame damage. And look, like, just running through here, like, whatever. It's just so YOLO. Like, the odds of succeeding like this are quite low. But when you want to get a legendary time on the stage, you got to go for it, you know? I'm surprised the guards didn't lure out from back there. Oh yeah, he's got to nade it. Got to nade it up, baby. There we go. The nice somersault. Really good. Like, that's the thing that you underappreciate the timing of that, because if he walked through it as the flames were still visible, you know? And so that means, like, if he walked through, like, only a couple frames earlier, he would have taken damage and passed away because he has no health left. Even you can easily get hit here by the guards as you're running to the glass. Like, you get hit there all the time using this old-style glass lure. Wow. He even primed the nade, so that way he didn't have to wait like 5 seconds after the glass opened. Like, that's just so... It's like he's... You know, this is Aztec DLTK. This is supposed to be like close to impossible. Oh my god. And he's speedrunning. He's straight up speedrunning. I would worry... See, he looks back there, because like those guards can warp that area if you look away for too long. So, like, they are probably warping that and, like, pursuing him right now. Which is, like, very terrifying to think about. So now he's in here. You have to clear out this big room. Which he's going to do very efficiently in a way. So keep in mind, there are AR-33 guards behind him. There are laser guards in this room. I mean, the AR-33... Oh my god. So he's leaving 3 laser guards alive and a drone. And hoping that simply they were all looking away or not shooting at the moment when he ran in there to upload the launch protocol data. If that's not, like, the biggest YOLO possibly in the history of GoldenEye, then I simply do not know what is. That is simply beyond stunning. Aztec DLTK 334. There's all the cheats off. All of the settings. 344 Aztec DLTK. I mean, that's just unbelievable. March 3rd, 2017. That is still untied to this very day. It is the 5th oldest DLTK untied world record. So that's pretty insane. The oldest one is his Caverns 854, which I believe we watched in a previous episode. So that's pretty outstanding, amazing job by Bozon, no doubt. So yeah, pretty epic. And here are the Aztec rankings at this very point in time. And we can see that, you know, he does have the LTK record, which is cool. And maybe we'll do more LTK episodes a little bit later. But DLTK 344. Icy has 5 minutes, which is amazing. Like, that's a great run. There's Silent Foes 513. And, like, again, this was done in 2009. And, like, nobody... Only 2 people have ever beat that since 09. Like, that's kind of 14 years ago. Like, it shows you, A, how difficult this is to do. And it does also, like, show the sort of niche-ness of playing and speedrunning GoldenEye DLTK. You know? And as time goes on, like, you do kind of start to wonder, maybe Bozon's 344 will remain the world record forever. Like who in their right mind is gonna, like, YOLO this room with 3 laser guards? Like, there's a realistic chance that this time never gets beaten. And yeah, just as time goes on, you start to want, like, there's been interesting charts posted about like activity in GoldenEye and, you know, signups for the community, and it sort of peaked in like 2013-14, with Twitch kind of exposing the game to lots of people. Then it dipped a bit, and then 27-18 it peaked again when the kind of YouTube game was going strong and introducing people that way, and then it's kind of dipping again. And like maybe there's going to be no resurgence ever again. Like maybe the game is simply too old now, going on 26 years old, and like maybe we're getting towards the end game. Maybe this is it. Maybe Aztec DLTK 344 by Adam Bozon will be the world record forever. And if it is, I can certainly appreciate that as a simply amazing run. And so there, in a nutshell, in the first half of this episode, is the story of Aztec DLTK. Let's just check out the comments here while we take a look and see people appreciating this run. That ending made me nervous. Bozon, I was a bit nervous too. Bozon, I did get a lot of deaths there, but it's a good time saver when it works, shooting the nade, so it's worth it. Wow, that's insane. Some nonsense exchange between Washing Machine and Greater Maxim, who's known for sort of strange replies. Welder, awesome run. How exactly did you discover the ending? When I first completed Aztec LTK, I found it was fairly safe to run across the other side of the room while the 4 crate guards were still alive, so I soon realized they weren't the most deadly guards in the game. This seemed to be because the laser's a slow-firing gun, they can only shoot 5 at a time, and there's a long pause between each round of 5 bullets. The running across the room idea progressed after I first completed Aztec DLTK. Did more testing, and then found it worked. Pretty insane. Similar to the Trev Leafs Run Statue DLTK. So, wow, just amazing. Amazing run, dude. Hardcore. This guy, Entropic Decay, brings up an old urban legend saying that if you beat Aztec in DLTK in under 9 minutes, you unlock all bonds. But yeah, it was, you know, an urban legend, April Fool's joke, whatever. So that's pretty funny. Oh, this guy heard that the urban legend was not 1,000 health, but 200 health. That's a little bit easier than DLTK, but just shows you how many of those urban legends floated around back in the day. This guy says it's better than Luke's Aztec 00135. You know, interesting comparison. Of course, that's no longer the world record, and this is, so that certainly gives this some credit, you know. And one of the most impressive runs ever. You're my hero. I can't even beat the level on 00 Agent. You know, all this kind of... wow, only a few weeks ago. A pretty interesting comment from our pal Marmax Gaming and longtime viewer of SpeedLore. Insane run, dude. Can't imagine how many resets that first grenade took. Let's see. The problem is when he ran through the final room. Took me 18 attempts. So 17 times he attempted that ending and passed away. This run took him 75 hours after he first started playing again for the first time in several years, which honestly isn't that like out of line for like that's generally how long it takes to get an Untied. Like that's how big of a grind it takes to get an Untied world record in GoldenEye or Perfect Dark at this point in time. And so 75 hours isn't like out of whack, you know. So I remember this interesting discussion I had with Boss once about like the 1,000-hour time. I feel like I brought that up in a SpeedLore episode before. You know, I'm gonna hold the 1,000-hour conversation for when we're watching a DLTK run. So hopefully I'll remember to bring it up in a bit. If as a kid someone told me there were people that actually played through these levels with the settings maxed, I would never have believed it. It seemed impossible. And Bozon, I would have said the same thing for all levels when I was younger too. Isn't that kind of beautiful? Like, it really shows you just how sometimes knowing something's possible and believing it's possible is what you need to succeed. You know, Bozon would have thought it was impossible, and yet here he is years later doing it, and that's inspiring as anything, as far as I'm concerned. So, amazing job, Bozon. And let's move to Dam. Let's move to Dam. And, yep, see, will Bozon reappear on Dam? I think we can most likely safely say probably yes, my friends. Probably yes. So, the first Dam run we watched, Dam was actually one of the first levels to be completed because there was like a good deal of sort of, well, it's one of the first levels, and the first level in any game gets like overplayed to a large extent. Let's tell that as we watch this this playthrough. But of course, it's an amazing completion. This one's from Illu, and so we're gonna dedicate this to a SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie. A huge thanks to you, Mr. Moxie, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon, and we get a nice long run for you here. Bad gate, but like who cares, because you know, you're going at this point in time. This is from 2005. Illu's going for a completion, not like a speed run. And so yeah, there were some early completions, early videos of Dam. We ended up showing a Wouter 21-minute run as like the first completion of Dam, because and it wasn't actually the first one. Illu actually had beaten in 26 minutes, but I chose to show the Wouter one because, you know, it was a cleaner video, and it was good to show Wouter amidst all this Illu stuff. And anyways, those were the earliest completions of Dam DLTK. Was back in 2004. Illu got this 26-minute completion. Wouter a 21-minute completion in March 04. That all happened, and kind of just the early competition of DLTK. And now finally, once we've beaten a lot of the levels, you know, at this point in January 05, actually, still a lot of the levels haven't been completed, but it's at a point now where Illu is sort of realizing, okay, now's the time to kind of go back and start revisiting some stages. So that's pretty cool. Illu had actually tied Dam 53 in November 04. That was kind of his first significant main game world record. And, you know, he would go on to have an amazing career and get dozens of untieds and world records. 53 itself was like quite a controversial time because, you know, one of Boss's iconic records would go on to become, you know, a important member of the common Boring Four, it would be called, in 2017, when a lot of newcomers would join and try to get world records. And there was, of course, that legendary claim from a guy named Dan Berube, where he had no video of the 53. That was cool. Illu was like behind. Illu was visible to the guard, but like physically behind the corner. So that's why the shot didn't hit. But yeah, Berube had the Dam 53. And, you know, I've gone into a great deal in previous vids, but not for many, many years about this story. He claimed he had gotten 53. He had numerous 54s on tape. He had 53 on his end screen. Looking back now, I probably believe that he did get 53, but it was eventually removed from the rankings because it was too significant of a time to go unproven. And, you know, he tried to prove it with circumstantial supporting evidence, getting a lot of 54s on tape, getting a 53 best time end screen on those 54s, but he didn't have video of that 53. You know, slaying Boss's world record and the oldest world record to ever be in the game during the core of the game's sort of prime, of speedrunning prime, you know? So the 53 claim by Berube was just too significant to stand in history without proof. We made a decision, you know, 10 years, 15 years later. That being said, Illu was the first person to tie 53 on tape. And so that's quite a significant piece for Illu. And that was after he had actually played many, many levels on DLTK. You know, he had played a lot of DLTK first and then decided to go and play some main category stuff. And yeah, we can see here he's doing a really good job of like farming ammo, which that is something that I brought up that is like pretty necessary on Dam, because, you know, again, DLTK, you're sort of playing like a losing game. Like, in theory, all things equal, you need 10 headshots to kill a guard, and you only get 10 ammo from them. So any missed shot, any ammo you need to use on an alarm or a lock or anything, you're playing a losing game. So it's so important to farm ammo from other places like this. And we can see he's being very careful with these guards. Really good technique, staying behind. Now I believe 2 guards do like come out from behind at some point here. Maybe that's if the alarm goes off. It's been so long since I've like played like kind of very casually through the game, you know? It is wise to just skip going in and shooting the general. There's like no need to... There's no need, yeah. You get through here, ignore the guards coming from behind, ignore the general, just move on. You know, conflict avoidance is what I'll call it. Sometimes you just need to have conflict avoidance. And those guards don't really pass the gate. For whatever reason, they're not really programmed to pass the gate and chase you onto the dam, so he's pretty safe now. And again, even downstairs, most of the guards he will encounter, but there will be some closer towards the middle tower and the 3rd tower in the basement, and I'm sure he will just come back up this 1st tower to avoid those guards. And that is the right decision, because, you know, going all the way in the basement is faster. That's why we do a double agent. It's faster and it is survivable, so we do it that way. But like on DLTK, especially in these early days, it's just not worth saving 2 seconds to stay in the basement for longer, you know? In fact, you would probably actually lose time because you'd be fighting more guards. Nice use of the fence here, headshotting these guys. He's going to be very careful down here, which is understandable, you know? Nice shot. One shot. I mean, I wonder if that guard's going to move and chase him. You know, this is kind of really slowly, like, edging out, which makes it quite a challenge. Getting some arm shots, so that, like, is costly as far as ammo goes. But he feels it's necessary to, keep the run going and sort of attract him out and try to get some headshots, you know? Some arm shots, at least. Nicely done. Really kind of attempting the lean aim out there. I guess it's a good technique. You know, he's just trying to beat the 21-minute time by Welder. You can afford to, you know, it's a pretty slow tactic to lure a guard from all the way there out this way. And sometimes they don't even come the whole way, see? So, it is a bit of a risk. Oh my god. The guard rolled away. He's out of PP7 ammo, you know, so he's only got this left. Nice shots, baby. Nice shots. That's the visual there is funny because it almost looks like the bullet mark in the box is like in the guy's head. But that's just, you know, it's not actually like that. It's just the visual appearance of it. Really doing the Arlene, you know, that's sort of the original purpose of the Arlene. It just so happened that we found if you throw a projectile, man, the guards are barely at the edge of the draw distance there. It's kind of fascinating. It just so happens that if you throw a projectile in the frame when you're leaning, it can go further than usual, and obviously it's become very useful in speedrunning the game. Not in DLTK yet, but, or at least at this point in time, I wonder if, like, the Runway Boys or something use our leaning yet. I think they still use the tank on DLTK, but on LTK, yeah, maybe our leaning's in there nowadays. Getting some ammo again. This is, I mean, think about it. He has 70 shots left. How much ammo did he get from the boxes upstairs? You know, he could be close to out if it wasn't for that. And like many levels, that is a huge part of the strategy, is having to contend with that. I know certainly on Silo it's a huge part, like you need nade pulls on Silo. So, yeah, quite significant. Nice shot. And hey, it's a slow and painstaking process. So guards definitely saw him. Now, I believe they're like guards that stand behind boxes, and so they're probably not going to come out of there. But again, this is 2005, and so like Illu might not like really know that, you know? There might be like one rare animation where they charge out of there, and that's what he was kind of looking for, but like I think in general, no. And it looks like Illu's playing this with 1.1 control style, because there was a lot of discussion on DLTK, is 1.1 often better when going for completions? Because, oh my god, that he kind of exposed himself to the guards down the hall, which is very scary. But 1.1, you know, it's analog input as opposed to the digital C buttons, so you can more easily inch your way forward, which is like useful on DLTK, you know, especially when going around these corners. These guys are just not going to leave their box positions. So he's got to like inch in and shoot their arms and stuff. You know, I'm trying to think what the boss story that I was going to tell was, and honestly, I completely forget. I'm so sorry. I don't want to go back in time and like stop the recording and like rewatch and see, but my friends, I may just do that for 1 or 2 runs from now and remind myself what the story was. What could I possibly have been going to tell about Boss? It was a good story too. Man, I may have to do that after like we can watch one more run, then I may have to stop it and recall what the Boss story I was going to tell was. I think he got both those guards. I think he should be clear, right? Or was that just one? No, I guess one. Wow. Good. There, he's got aim on the head. He's got cover behind the wall. 3, 4. Almost got him. He can go for arm. Well, oh, he's pretty low ammo. I mean, he's at 33. And there's more than 3 guards in the next room. So yeah, he had to be careful there. There we go. He's got, so he can do 6 guards if he plays perfectly. And I think there are fewer than 6 in this room. There's like 4 maybe. But this room is where it's easy to get cloning guards. So you have to be very, very careful of that too. I wonder if he blows anything up, because you can get away with blowing up one of the mainframes. Oh man, this is a risk, because you can get cloning guards doing this. But I guess it's worth doing it. It's worth doing it till there's like 1 guard left in that room, probably. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was really not ideal. That easily could have got... The thing with a cloning guard is it's a whole new... It's a guard who sends a clone of himself out there, so you don't even eliminate the guard that you want to eliminate. You eliminate his clone. And so it's like super problematic on DLTK especially. But I think he's got 1 more guard in there, and like that guard doesn't even like notice you, so you can probably just like press B and leave. Yep. Okay, he's good. He has 2 more alarms to shoot out. I'm wondering if he's gonna go and like try to shoot the tower guards, or just like YOLO it. Not a huge YOLO, but just go and like take out the alarms, because the tower guards usually don't see you. Okay, so he's like paying attention. Probably a good technique. Shooting very slowly to avoid making noise, to attract, like, the faster you shoot, the more likely you are to make noise and attract the tower guard, you know, so it's very wise of him to be careful here. And there we go, 5 shots, he's completed it. And now it's time to leave, my friends. Time to leave. Dr. Doke. Good idea there to double check, because you can get hit there in the last second going off. So, very nice stuff by Illu here. Jumping off the dam. Wow. It's truly amazing, my friends. The insane dam jump. $16.44, baby. So about a 5-minute improvement over Wouter. Pretty good stuff. And there's the settings, baby. Pretty good, pretty amazing. This upload of the run from 2013 by Axel Z only has 79 views, which is kind of insane. And I'm sure more people did see it in that time. You know, downloading it from private servers. That's what you had to do back then, believe it or not, before the days of YouTube. But yeah, this is like an iconic run for sure, and it remained the world record for quite a significant amount of time, almost 4 years, until of course none other than Adam Bozon came along. And he cut off quite a significant number of minutes from the time. He actually improved his own record here in August and September 08. 4 times. So this was his 4th like new untied on the stage. He never made videos the previous 3, and that was like pretty standard practice back then. You know, if you're going to keep lowering it, why bother type of thing. But this one is certainly where he left off. Significant, amazing run. We'll dedicate to our SpeedLore champion, Sammy Limex. A huge thanks, Sammy, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's check it out, baby. The amazing Bozon dam run. Yeah, he almost cuts it in half, I'll say. It's a pretty nice run we're gonna witness here. Nice shots going up here. See, this is good. He's gonna lure these guards like before picking up the sniper, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, why not? You know, why not? These sort of small optimizations, and okay, I can lure this guard before doing this. That might even like save 10 seconds or 15 seconds, you know. This is where there's a big time save, and this is where you can easily pass away pretty quickly. On many runs, he's basically getting right behind the truck to avoid getting shot by, you know, the guards in the pillbox and behind the wooden boxes. He's taking cover behind the truck. I mean, that's almost like a real life tactic, you know. So that's very impressive. And that obviously saved a good, like that alone saved minutes over Illu's stuff. And yeah, I guess he knows that the guards who are stationed behind boxes, like, don't really move that much. So he knows he's kind of safe here. Even though it looks precarious, he knows he's actually kind of safe. And so he doesn't even bother to pass him away or get all the ammo. He's just going to skip it. And once again, Bozon's going to go behind this, the truck here. Wow, and he's actually kind of YOLO. Wow, he's really YOLO. There is a brown suited patrol guard over by the tower. And so I wonder if, oh my god, that, like, there's shots being fired. I wonder if Bozon like YOLO'd it or knew the timing, sort of. Knew that the timing was going to be like, he was going to be in a good spot. A spot like not looking and shooting at him. It's like, that was honestly quite a YOLO. I'm actually very surprised to see him skip that guard. You know, Illu went and lured them back into the sort of double gates and dealt with them up there, so that was pretty insane. Okay, so Bozon is going to skip the guard on the top there, which is interesting. I guess with like PP7 ammo on the way back up, you can pretty safely deal with him, but he's got to make sure he has 5 shots left. Like, I'm imagining Bozon might go up there and shoot 5 times and not attract the interest of that guard patrolling the top of the tower. But yeah, he's got to, yeah, there you go. That's what he does. Shooting to lure another guard and break some boxes there. And now he's like double lured some guards. So again, just a very efficient use of time. And we're going to see Bozon make these efficient uses of time. He's very good at like figuring out this stuff, you know? Nice. Nice shots. Again, just a lot more aggressive and fast than like Illu, you know, on his 16-minute run. Saving like minutes with certain strategies and just kind of seconds with other guard management. But he needs that ammo. I mean, he was down to like 21 shots left, which is not a lot. It's like almost possible to run out of ammo Yeah, dam's gotta be 1. I wonder if it's the only level where you can run out of ammo with no spawning guards and not be able to complete the objectives, which is to shoot out the alarms. Because like, I'm pretty sure other levels, like Bunker 2, you could almost, but there are like alarm guards who spawn if the cameras aren't broken. So you could probably always have, like, I'm trying to think if damn there could ever be a situation where there's like no way out, like you're out of ammo, there's no spawning guards, and so you truly cannot complete the alarm objective. I think that's the case. And like if you had no shots left, you couldn't even break the boxes to get more ammo. I'm just trying to think if damn is unique in that circumstance. And like it might be. Like every other level, there are spawning guards. I mean, Frigate is somewhat like that, but like you can save the hostages by slapping. And I'm pretty sure you have enough time to save all, like at least, even on Double O Agent, all 5 of them, with just slapping with very like clever movement. That's the only other level with no spawning guards. So like, in all their cases, you could slap guards, get ammo, and complete objectives. So yeah, I think damn is it. I'll go ahead and say that. The only level where you can actually run out of ammo. Oh my, whoa, that guard passed himself away by destroying the box, which is pretty insane. Kind of a funny, you know, moment in this run. So Bozon's got 4 guards left in this room, I believe. Oh, the patrolling guy's there, so he's just gonna shoot him once and lure him out. Good strategy. There we go. What's got 36 shots left, 31, so he's in good shape here. Interesting how Bozon does the full retreat as well. Yeah, I was imagining you can just take care of this guy right here. Like this shouldn't be a huge problem. Okay, nice. And does that attract the guard from... Okay, so it does attract the guard from behind the mainframe. Hopefully not a cloned guard, but still that's faster than doing like the double retreat. And so now he's just going to shoot three last alarms. And so I kind of wonder what his tactic to do that will be. Oh, I guess the first one he did already clear out the patrolling guard above. So now he's just going to do it the other 2 towers the same way Illu did. 1, 2, 3, or 5. Here we go. You could even do it. You know, this is like 2008 when he got this, so like you wouldn't know of this, but like, if you want to be safe, you could do it from afar through the window shot. But that would be silly and insane, and that usually takes like at least 14 shots each, so you need enough ammo for it. It's like I'm saying it as almost like a joke theoretical strategy. You know, the DLTK window shot, you know. Add that one to the iceberg. But it is always surprising the strategies that these guys do end up using on DLTK. Like a lot of times they are really insane, like really beyond insane, that, and like he doesn't even check to see if the patrolling guard is going to shoot him on the way out. I'm definitely going to read the comments on this video, because this one has like 1,000 views, was uploaded to Bozon's channel when he got it. 908, baby. 246 headshots. Pretty insane. There's the max settings. Very impressive stuff by Bozon. Like, wait. Oh, and she even shows the cheats back then. which they didn't really start to do until a few years into the completion. So that was amazing, man. Way to go, Bozon. 4 comments. 1,000 views, 4 comments. Kara Thorne with some audio advice. Fair enough. The sound of the CRT, yep. But hey, man, not everyone knows how to EQ the sound a bit and get rid of the frequencies, especially not in 2008. Great run, said by Loincloth Rising. Oh, and I guess one comment was deleted by this guy. And GeForce responds that it is a legit run, so... Amazing stuff by Bozon. Way to go, 908. Very impressive speedrun. So yeah, 908, Adam Bozon. Great run. You know, that was the culmination of about a month's work for him, or a couple weeks at least. Being the first in 3.5 years to improve Illu's 16-minute time, so pretty amazing stuff. And this itself would actually remain the world record for 7.5 years. Again, which is very, very impressive. You know, a lot of great, long-lasting world records, certainly, that we see come and go here in the LTK modes. But in 2016, a lot of new times in DLTK were set by the Big Boss Man, our guy. And so we're going to watch an amazing Big Boss Man run. And this one will be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Soul O'Rock. A huge thanks to you, Soul, for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon. Hope you're doing well. And let's check out this Big Boss Man. Damn DLTK, baby. Let's take a look. And of course, you know, now is the time to tell the story of the conversation I once had with Boss. And I was kind of getting at this in regards to Bozon spending 75 hours on the Aztec DLTK 344, right? 75 hours is a good... It's like this is a good deal of time to spend on a video game stage. Wow, Boss just like lured that guard away and like didn't care to like fight him, which is, again, like we're showing more and more advanced techniques to save time. You'll think of it this way: 75 hours on a world record. I know it doesn't exactly work this way, but let's say you could have worked any job at $20 an hour. Deciding to play a level for 75 hours means you value that time, that record attempt, at like $1,500, because that's like the opportunity cost of what you could have made if you worked a $20 an hour job instead of playing, you know, for Aztec DLTK, for example. Obviously, in practice, in reality, the world doesn't work that way. You know, can you work that time, you know, an hour at a time? Like, no, you can't the same way you play a game, right? So the world doesn't really actually work that way, but the theory of it is interesting to consider, at least. Interesting that Boss like got all that ammo when Bozon didn't on his 9-minute run. And here's actually, this is really cool. Boss is doing quick pausing to speed up what will be his covert modem pause. So that's actually really kind of interesting as well to see that. He's waiting for this guard. Again, like, Bozon skipped this guard. So it's interesting to see that, like, Boss is skipping fewer guards than Bozon thus far. Like, Bozon skipped that guard and skipped the boxes. Boss skipped neither. So now he's probably going to save more time down below somewhere. Oh, and look, Boss is low on PP7 ammo already. Anyways, the conversation I had with Boss, and this is like honestly going on like 2007. He was the champion of the game up until that point. His world records were amazing. But even back then, he was kind of like regretful, thinking that like, okay, there's some great world records that took like 50 hours, 100 hours. Welder had some famous ones that took like 150 hours, like Bunker 117. But Boss was thinking like there should be a 1,000-hour time, a time you could only get once in 1,000 hours. And that's actually clever. Right here it's clever because those guards aren't going to warp through. He's blocking the gate because it opens towards him, but he knew by shooting that KF-7 it would lure the, you know, the tower patroller down. So that was actually a very clever technique there all around. Kind of even like a further advancement on the clever stuff that Bozon was doing. And so, like, the idea is, what would a 1,000-hour time look like? And, like, is that something we should strive for? And I got the sense that back then, it was something that Boss, like, felt should be the case. Like, if you're going to dedicate your life to a game, why not spend 1,000 hours on a single time? And you could argue, actually, in today's, like, speedrunning world that, like, you know, the guys who have the 120-star world records probably have spent 1,000 hours in the game, or, you know, more, just on that category, right? Just on that single category, they've spent 4,000 hours, 5,000 hours. And so that in itself is like a 1,000-hour time, a 5,000-hour time in some regard. But imagine it on like a single level stage, like a damn 00 or something like that. Now, there are guys who claim to have spent like 500 hours on world records, and sometimes it can be to a... I'm looking for a very specific word here. I don't want to say pitiful. There's the legend of, like, Greg's, who claims to have spent 500 hours on damn Agent 53, which is, like, way too much time for that level. So, you know, is it good on him, or is it, like, that was a waste of time, you know? And I believe there was a recent Perfect Dark player who spent like 500 hours on like a relatively common time. But don't source me on that. Don't quote me on that. I don't have a source right now. I know a lot of guys spent like over 100 hours on Air Force One Special Agent 117, which was a great run. Like, Carl kind of skipped 118 and fluked the Untied, in a way. And, you know, one of those things where he had the skill to do it, but he wasn't expecting to skip to it, you know? And then guys spent, like, hundreds of hours to tie it. So, like, that's an example as well, right? But that's, like, considered a very good record, you know, and Ace beat it relatively recently, but it was considered a very good record. And so it's, like, I've certainly spent 100 hours on a time before, you know. Like, I wonder if I spent 100 hours on Damn 00. I probably did. I was streaming like 4 or 5 hours a night, 4 or 5 times a week. So say 20 hours a week, and I played for 2 months. That's like 150 hours. Now, keep in mind, streaming it, you are like earning income, you know? And so, I mean, not everyone does, but like I was at the time. I was like full-time streaming, kind of. And so that does change the game a bit. Also, your hours of play aren't as optimized. You know, there's so many, like, advanced metrics in sports now. You know, I was just watching the hockey playoffs, and guys were talking about saves above expected average. Like, oh, the goalie made 0.5 saves above expected tonight. Like, he played a really good game. And so it makes me think of, like, speedrunning advanced metrics, like quality of hours played. And if you're streaming, you're kind of distracted, so the quality of your hours played isn't as high. I mean, it's fun to kind of spitball and rant about these ideas. But, yeah, I mean, to this day, I don't know that there's like 1,000-hour time, you know. I mean, I know Callie grinded a long time for stuff like Damn 52 is a good example. Like, Carl and Callie both spent 250 hours on that time. Like, that's That's getting close to the 1,000-hour time that Boss was talking about. But you wonder, like, all in all, man, Boss must be so nervous here. Like, he's on a great run, not wanting to lure the guards. You wonder, all in all, like, is a 1,000-hour time worth it? What would it look like? All that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like Callie's, like, Surface 1 SA 146 is almost a 1,000-hour time. I think he got over 1,000 147s. So, like, he might have spent 1,000 hours in that time. And that's one of the best records in the game. So, like, maybe that is a 1,000-hour time. Maybe that's a time of Boss's philosophical lore from 15 years ago, you know? So, anyways, I'll leave the conversation at that. I could go on about that for forever, honestly, and talk about examples and stuff. Hey, maybe next month's SpeedLore exclusive, Patreon exclusive, I'll talk about the 1,000-hour time more, but maybe I'll make the title of this episode, because it's kind of a cool discussion, you know? But anyways, here's Boss's damned DLTK 835. Great run, cut 33 seconds off of Bozon's time. There's the stats and the cheats. So great stuff by Boss, and I thank you, Boss. I loved having that run serve as the backdrop for my 8-minute rant about the 1,000-hour time. It really does make me smile. You know, I've met Boss 3 times now in my life. I haven't seen him in person in about 6 years now. And again, maybe I'll never see him again, you know? Like, hopefully I do, but maybe I won't, you know? But it makes me smile thinking about conversations we had 15 years ago that you can still sit back and think about and appreciate, and now I can share with, like, thousands of people and, like, have others think about it and contribute to it. And, like, you know, the internet has so many downsides, right? It really does. But, like, that's certainly an upside, and that's cool. And yeah, I mean, let me know what you think about the 1,000-hour time. Is it worth it? Is it valuable? Is it a waste of time? Is it at least something to put out there to the world and have you remembered and cemented in history for this one thing? How long will that history be cemented for? It's just so much. It's just so much to think about and process, and I'll leave it at that because we have one more run to watch. Later in 2016, Bozon wasn't too pleased about Boss beating his record. Is nonplussed the right word there? Nonplussed. No, that means surprised and confused. I remember a Norm Macdonald bit about that. But anyways, Bozon returned to the stage, wanted to get the world record back, and he would do just that. And so the last run of the night is going to go to our final SpeedLore champion of the night, 4-day Bender. A huge thanks for your support of SpeedLore on Patreon all these years. Truly, truly remarkable. This run's dedicated to you. Let's take a look at Bozon's. Well, once again, Bozon improved this a number of times. Once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6. This was his 7th improvement. That's a lot. That is a lot of improvements. So, and again, it is interesting because, like, we don't have videos of those 7 improvements. Even though Bozon did this over the course of, like, 2 months, he only posted the video of the final result. Which, in a way, is interesting. I wonder if he has videos, like, on his hard drive or something of the previous completions. Bozon, if you see this, like, I wonder if you have those runs. Okay, so that's a cool strat that Boss did, and Bozon obviously did there as well. Luring the 2 tunnel guards plus the other guard into the tower and just leaving. That's pretty cool. Again, it's like a risky strategy because you're leaving these guards alive, but they probably know well enough that, like, okay, they know how to deal with it and manage it. Wow, Bozon going, wow. Because Wow, I'm like really impressed with this. There's a guard on the left who is like a patrolling guard, and I guess he doesn't like interact with you at all until he reaches his patrolling position. And I guess Bozon knows he can take advantage of that by running over here before he reaches that position. So that's very impressive. Like, Illu went over there and, like, you know, dealt with him one-on-one. I feel like Bozon could have pressed B there before collecting all the ammo. I could be wrong, though. Like, I gotta assume that he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows more than me on this stage. I could imagine he could press B to open the gate. I guess he didn't want the truck to, like, advance. He kind of got through there and closed the door before the truck even, like, had a chance to get through, which definitely saved time. So that's probably what it was about. And he even, like, skipped the patrolling guard in the tower over on the right-hand side there again, which, like, I'm very impressed by. Even backs up while throwing the modem. Like, he is going all out to save as much time as possible here. So I'm very impressed. Nice headshots. So he's shooting the on both his 9-minute and boss's 8 minutes. They lured the tower guard down here, but he took him out first, and so again, just a matter of strategy, you know. That's all it is. And, you know, given that we're watching this, it's the last round of the night, etc., we can assume Bozon knows what he's doing with it. Take a zoom down. Nice shots. You know, here actually, Boss and Co. lured like a couple of these guards to the gate, right? So yeah, I feel like Bozon is making more use of the box fire explosion damage than Boss did, so that's notable as well. This guy like doesn't see you, you know. It's kind of cool. He reacted, but that was just kind of his like base instinct reaction to shots being fired. So yeah, Bozon's in this. Man, I feel like I didn't even see Boss or the others crouch at all. That was, look, again, using the fire explosion, right? So very creative and clever strategies from Bozon here to speed up the run. And like, again, he's obviously going for speed. I feel like he lost time by like those 2 missed shots there. I feel like he could have just charged that guard because the guard down the path here is no longer there. Was he lured out or just shot beforehand? Like, I feel like, see, this one he can't run and charge because the 2 guards at the boxes are down the way. They would shoot him. But the other guy was kind of safe to charge, I believe. Of course, there's so many guards to keep track of and remember, like, who have I shot, who have I not shot. So it's a lot. But again, we're talking about optimizing for like 5 seconds of time loss, 10 seconds of time loss. But that seems to be what Bozon wants to do. And I'm sure he would agree that this run like is beatable even. But it's really, really hard. And, you know, I'll read his description and comments on this run as well afterwards. Because, you know, this is a tough game, a tough level. Oh my god, he has to deal with 2 guards at once. Like, that's like the DLTK worst nightmare. He's down to 20 shots. This is actually really intense. Oh my god. He's just gonna YOLO it. So there were 2 guards left. One was on the left side behind, like, the 2 mainframes. The other guy was on the right-hand side behind the glass. Oh, it's self-boost for ammo. I guess Bozon knew that he could get away with, like, running in there and leaving. Oh, okay, so he could shoot at full speed there because he took out the tower guard beforehand. 2 more alarms. Okay, that's actually clever, saving the last alarm for later. Oh my god, he's luring this guy down? This seems like a bit foolish. But, like, again, think about how long that took just there compared to the slow shooting of Boss and Bozon's previous run. And, like, maybe... Oh my god, but he could get out of ammo. Oh my goodness. That was, like, really clutch. And so, like, maybe it's a similar speed, and maybe it's actually safer to deal with the guard and then shoot the alarm. So, that was a very impressive run with a lot of, you know, OMG moments. And 617. Damn DLTK 617 by Bozon. There's the stats. There's the cheats. Amazing stuff by Bozon. Simply amazing. Remarkable speedrun. Truly, truly, what can you say? That was set in January 2017, and it remains the world record. It remains untied to this very day. Here's the damn DLTK records, and once again, even Boss's run, only Icy has beaten it. You know, Icy's got a lot of good damn, DLTK times, period. And so I hope to see more Icy come up in future episodes. But Bozon's just like a league ahead. Like, same thing, right? He's like over a minute ahead on Aztec DLTK. He's 2 minutes ahead on damn DLTK. Just insanely impressive stuff, you know? Look, 10th place is 11:54. You know, that shows you how insane Bozon's time is. And I'm just taking a look here at the, like, longest standing records. This is kind of cool to see. Here are the, you know, longest standing DLTK records and LTK records. Damn and Aztec DLTK are 5th and 6th. So we watched those two tonight. Pretty amazing. And I believe we have watched Caverns in a previous episode. I think we watched the Bunker 2 time as well. So pretty amazing stuff by Bozon. And you can just see, like, he got a few recently, but there's this whole stretch of kind of non-Bozon records, and these are some of, like, the Bozon classics. So I'm glad that we could show those and appreciate some of the really most amazing Bozon DLTK runs tonight. 5,000 views on this, so that's pretty insane for damn DLTK. Pretty amazing. That was awesome. Good run. Do you plan on speedrunning in the future? Yep, still speedrunning GoldenEye. Funny guy calling it fake. Hilarious. Always a classic. DLTK fast animation. Oh, wow. So Bozon 6 years ago says, I don't think DLTK fast animation levels are possible. Any other one. So he had beaten a few at this point in time. I talk more about DLTK fast animation in a SpeedLore exclusive Patreon video, so you can check that out on Patreon. Legendary GoldenEye figure here, Subdrag, commenting great run. You know, great run, amazing run, all that good stuff, and it truly is. So, a great time and a lot of amazing speedruns we have seen tonight. And hey, so that'll do it, my friends, for this episode of DLTK SpeedLore. A huge thanks to everyone who watched, commented. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode especially. And of course, a huge thanks to the SpeedLore legends here in the end card for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Thanks to everyone. You know, it's amazing we continue this series. And I know a lot of people comment and say how much they appreciate this series still being around. You know, one episode a month at a time. But hey, we're still going, and I hope to give you some comfort and ease and peace as you enjoy and listen to these episodes. So thanks again to everybody for watching and supporting. It's truly appreciated beyond words. We'll be back next month with another SpeedLore episode, probably another DLTK episode, so stay tuned for that. Got a lot of great exclusive content now, 4 or 5 videos now on the Patreon page. Always welcome to join me there. Hope to see you there, or in the comments of the SpeedLore upload. So, as always, thanks to everyone for watching and supporting. Much love to you all the best. Stay true, my friends. I'll see you in the next stream or video. And good night.